Studio Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to the Old School on a Friday. Again, you've made it. Job well done for you folks that are just getting off work, or you're in the pickup line, or you're headed to a Friday night Nebraska high school football game. Whatever it is you're doing, or you're heading, or you're doing like Jake Sorensen and you're planning your anniversary. You know, good luck on your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday endeavors, whatever you're doing. You guys know how to chip in. You know how to find us. You know that from the Honda Lincoln hotline, you can call in and state your case, and you can vent and say things that move you to do so. You can get on the Sartor Hamann text line, 464-5685. And you can text in and let us know what you're thinking, what's on your mind, what do you things that you want to have us consider as well. You can jump on the Sartor Hamann video stream, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Join in. They got chats going on each of those. Nick is jumping back a la Jim Carrey in between the various chats. And making sure those are covered. Jennifer texted at the top of the hour. I want to read this. She goes, "My children, 3 boys, 1 girl, all 36 years old and under, remember greatness, and the last decade has been hard for them to watch." Gene says, "My 18-year-old is sitting here disagreeing. He went through the Pelini years, which was 9 wins every year." And that's a point. That's a huge point, that you've gone from 9 wins to begging for 6 when 9 wasn't good enough. Don't let your standard drop. Don't let your standard drop. Squeak says, "People who are in their 30s were in grade school in the 90s. They definitely remember." Texas says, "I'm 27. I know what greatness is. I'm okay with progress, but I'm not hanging banners for 6 and 6. This isn't Iowa." Sick bird.
Unfortunately, Iowa's number 2 in the country.
Well, but that's exactly why I got in that space. Was Iowa has never been Nebraska football good. They've never been. They've never been Nebraska football good when Nebraska even wasn't at its best. And now, through some weird thing that happens when you cross the border from Nebraska to Iowa, all of a sudden you can, with the same level of talent, with the same level of coaching, right, with fewer resources and a way less cool fan base, you can be number 2 in the country. But to tell me that Nebraska can't, no, that's just not true. All you parents, all you teachers. So imagine you teach and you teach and you teach and you teach, or you parent and you parent and you parent and you parent. And your kid tells you they've got a test, they study for that test, they study all week, and you help them study for it, and you root for them, and you cheer them, you pack them a good lunch, and you give them good food the day before, and you support them. You put a sign at the front door, "Honey, good luck today at your test." And then you come back home, "How'd you do in your test?" "Well, I got half my answers right." Yay. No. Yeah. Love you. But that's not good enough. Love you. I absolutely love you. Come get a hug. You need a hug. You deserve a hug. But when we get that hug, it's like, look, we're not doing this. It's not what we're doing. Right? Simple. Not Iowa. Texter, listen to what I'm saying here. Texter. The texter says, "Not Iowa. When's the last time Nebraska beat Iowa?" That's exactly my point. Iowa has never, ever been Tom Osborne good. They've never been Mike Rozier good. They've never been Johnny Rodgers good. Are those fair statements?
Yes.
Right? They've never been Tommy Frazier good. Have they ever had a quarterback that was Tommy Frazier good? Who's the best quarterback in Iowa history? Chuck
Ooh.
Long?
I think he's up there.
Okay.
I think he has to be the guy.
And then where would Chuck Long rank in Nebraska quarterback football history? Like, I'm not sure Chuck Long is Adrian Martinez good.
It's definitely under
Right?
Eric
Like,
Crouch
I'm not,
and Tommy Frazier,
Right,
Eric
like,
Crouch,
right.
those guys.
Like, so take the best runners, and I guess the best runner, you could maybe Ronnie Harmon, somebody like that from Iowa, right? And to say that Ronnie Harmon wouldn't have started when he was at Nebraska in the years that he was a great Iowa great is a statement of truth. And now this thing is upside down.
I think this is kind of funny. So for Iowa, there's a list here for their top quarterbacks of all time.
Uh-huh.
Number 1's Chuck Long. Number 2, Brad Banks. Here's the funny part. Number 3 and 4 are relatively recent guys.
Okay.
Ricky Stanzi, which I would not agree with, and C.J. Beathard.
Okay, and I know C.J. Beathard and would tell him to his face, hey, C.J., you know where you rank if you were a Nebraska Husker? Like, I get all that. My point being that you can get used to, you can love the Huskers without being able to accept things as they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And that's not a slap in the face to anybody, because I'm just saying that I don't think anybody there would really. Okay, so Nick, Google Iowa's best running backs. The texter just said, come on now, Iowa has had good running backs.
Ranking the greatest running backs of
Help me out here.
all time.
Help me out.
Hold on. Ad popped up. There it is. All right. Tony Stewart, Niall Kinnick, Sean Green, Tavian Banks, Cedric Shaw, Liddell Betts, Fred Russell, Ronnie Harmon, Nick Bell. Akram Wadley, that's a name Husker fans will know, comes in at number 10.
But so you understand, just from a relative standpoint, and this is not about Iowa. This is simply about what Nebraska is accepting. Look, you go tomorrow and you're going to face a team that you should match up well against. But the past years, you haven't. And peep this. If they win tomorrow, even if they win well tomorrow, we're going to thank them for getting back to 500 because they'll make them 4-4. Like a win, you need a win to get to 4-4, right?
Yeah.
So that you can take a break, heal up, recharge, retool, redirect, and get ready for Purdue, which would give you another opportunity to beat a team that you should beat, which would put you at 5-4. So it requires 2 really good performances against legitimate Big Ten teams, right? These aren't the best teams, but they're legitimate, right? They're legitimate. And if you don't handle your business tomorrow, you're say it with me, Nick. What's the record if you lose tomorrow?
It's 3-5 with 2 weeks to sit on it.
To sit on.
Yeah, that's the why for me personally, this game is huge, bigger than words can describe. Not only because it's one of those games, a tough Big Ten West game, one that you need to pull out, but also it's going to feel worse. I hate putting it in this category, but it's a similar feeling that if Nebraska doesn't take care of business, it'll be similar to after Illinois, and we looked ahead and said, what can we learn from a game against Fordham? It's basically, it's something similar to that.
Well, this is a week-to-week team.
Mm-hmm.
Like that we really can't advance past that. You can ponder it, but you can't advance past it because we haven't been consistent in who we are and what we do, and we don't know enough about the people who are playing the game on a week-to-week basis. So if they win tomorrow, and I'll say let's say when they win tomorrow, when they win tomorrow, it will be a pretty good 10 days in Nebraska.
Yes, because you're sitting there with a 4-4 record saying there is a path to a bowl.
There's a path. Now, see.
But you're looking ahead there.
There's the thing, right? And if you're looking ahead, the path to the bowl is 6 wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's you asking your child to come home with a 50 on their paper. When you've gotten them mentors, you've gotten them study groups, you've helped, you brought in personal teachers,
Mm-hmm.
you've done all the work. Again, you've helped them in the process. They're prepared ahead. Except that this is going to be your week-to-week life until we know who this team is. And we still don't know. We don't know. If I said to you this thing, hey, Adrian Martinez is going to run the ball 20 times tomorrow. Who can raise their hand and be absolutely sure that that's true or not? If I said that Jaquez Yant was going to have 2 touchdowns tomorrow, who's going to raise their hand and say yes or no? We don't know. If we said Oliver Martin is going to catch 6 passes tomorrow, do we know? We have no idea.
Clue.
No idea. Ramir Johnson. What are we going to get from Ramir Johnson? Right? Right?
Rico. So Rico had this crazy prediction of 200 yards, no touchdowns from Ramir Johnson because he gets down at the 1 yard line, but Adrian Martinez just runs it in from the 1 for about 5 touchdowns.
If that's the case, I'm going to pick it. I will have signs waiting for them when they get back from Minneapolis.
Let me ask you this, DP. Let's say Nebraska finishes at 6-6,
mm-hmm.
and they get that goal, or they reach that goal of everybody's the universal goal.
I'm still looking at them sideways.
That's what I was going to say. Is because how much can you learn about that?
You know the girl who was on the Olympic gymnastics team,
yes.
but didn't win, and had to stand there and watch everybody who did better than her and win. And she's like,
well,
that's
because that's exactly what I was going to get at is we could still sit there with 6-6 and say, we don't know what this team is week to week.
What I would like to say is that I expect Nebraska to beat Minnesota. I expect them to beat Purdue. I expect them to look really good against Ohio State. And then I expect you're going to get right back to where you are now with a team that's in the neighborhood of 500 or 2 games above 500 with Wisconsin and Iowa staring you in the face with an opportunity to do better or not do better. I'd love to say after Ohio State, come on, Wisconsin, come on, come get this. Like, that's my natural space. So this goes against my very nature to even speak to 500. It goes against my nature. I'm just not wired that way. But I understand supporting. I've had teams that I coach where I was praying for 500 because I knew.
Yeah.
But it didn't mean that I worked for that. I worked beyond that. I had to work beyond that just to get to it. Right? Just to get to it. Best coaching job I ever did was a team that was 7-9. Because we started 1-8.
Yeah.
We started 1-8. So I knew how much work was going to be required. And I had to work my tail off to get them to believe in that and to stop thinking that they were 1-18.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow should be not even a close game. Adrian Martinez is going to look, he should have one of those days that we talk about on Monday and go, wow. Like, dude had 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns. And you see the 60-yard run that he had, right? Because they turn their backs on him because that's what Minnesota defensively does. They turn their backs on quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks run up and down the field. And these are quarterbacks not named Adrian Martinez. I've seen Minnesota defenses on film against really big Jaquez Yant type runners really just kind of fold the table and fall down to his ankle and hope he falls down. But I can't bet on it, and I can't bank on it. Can't bank on it. Do I like Omar Manning in a fade route? Do I like Samori Toure in a fade route against these Minnesota corners? Yep.
Let me ask you this. Will we see it?
I don't call plays. But I saw the film. I saw the film. Burger King, I don't give score predictions. I don't do it. Because, okay, so let me be clear in how you do this, right? Like, having coached teenage kids, what I know about teenage kids is they're not different. They're not the same every day. So coaching is corralling teenage people into doing a thing constantly and consistently. It's very my brother calls it trying to eat soup with a fork. Like, you're really just trying to minimalize the spillage because the mistakes are going to happen. Like, I don't know. Scott Frost has zero idea whose girlfriend is going to do something stupid today and occupy the mind of his best players. He also can't identify he doesn't know injuries. He doesn't know what PJ Flex injuries are. He doesn't know what PJ Flex players are going through, right? He now has to deal with Eric Shenander and supporting him, right? Right? Through his whole thing, right? And then, by the way, you've got to make sure that Nebraska tackles, and if you figured out a way to be sure that teenage and 20-year-old kids are going to do the same thing every day, you let me know, and that's a book to write. Because you think of your kids. Think of you, Nick. I'm pretty sure there are things that you forgot to do today that you were going to pound your forehead later on because you went,
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, and it's not on purpose.
That's who I am.
It's just the way you're wired right now.
Oh, yeah.
So anybody that tells you that they know what's going to happen in a football game is a flat-out liar, period. I can tell you what the tendencies are. I can tell you what the things that Minnesota does well over the course of 5-6 games. I can tell you what Nebraska does well over 5 or 6 games, right? I can tell you. I can literally can go up and down the list on what it is. Again, I gave them to them in the 3 o'clock hour. I'll give you a couple of them now so you understand. Minnesota's terrible at fade routes defending them. They're really good at running their jet sweep. Sound familiar? Nebraska has a problem with jet sweep. They have a history of stopping it. Does it mean that this year's group can't stop it? No, just means they've had a history of it. Minnesota's defense is terrible against running quarterbacks. Absolutely awful. And Adrian Martinez is the best running quarterback they face. And guess what? Do we know how that's going to play out? Nope. No idea.
It's one of those things we know how it should play out.
We know how it should play out. But if we knew it, right?
We as Husker fans, we've seen that.
We already know. Minnesota's defense does not defend the option well. They don't do it, especially to the right. So Adrian's right-hand side. If you see Adrian on the wide side of the field and they've got motion coming from the receiver, guess what? That option play is in effect. And what Minnesota hasn't defended as well is that when you run the option to the right side of the field, that corner likes to peek. He's nosy and he likes to peek. And then you're putting in a dilemma because he has to stop watching and he has to make a play. And usually at that point, the receiver against him has gone into a fade route. And then he has to panic and scramble and put his hands in the face. And he's given up 3 touchdowns on fade routes this season. Ooh. Already. You know the tendencies of what people do. And then you match up the tendencies, what they do right and what they do wrong. Does what Nebraska do right, does that translate against Minnesota? And the answer in more cases than usual is yes for this week. Now, I don't know if Adrian takes a hit and fumbles. I don't know if Adrian gets concussed and sees double for a play and then throws a pick. We don't really know how that's going to work out. I also know that Tanner Morgan should be afraid tomorrow. If there's ever a quarterback who's in a situation where he needs to get rid of the ball really quickly tomorrow, it's Tanner Morgan against this Nebraska defense. Why? Because late delayed blitzes against Minnesota is like you walking into the grocery store and there's no cashier. Just fill the cart and enjoy yourself. Adrian goes right because that's a tendency of the team. But Adrian left. Remember, Adrian scored 2 touchdowns on the option inside the red zone going to the left. Short side versus long side. I understand tendency versus opportunity. There are things you want to run, and you may get a bad spot, and you may get the ball on the wrong side of the field. Ohio Husker, you're a genius. You're a genius. You could coach on my staff. He says, I think we should just win the rest of our games. That'll solve a lot of problems. Why not us? Let's go. All facts. That's probably the biggest problem for me, is that very little of the coaching conversation, and it should be based on one game at a time. Right? Go 1-0. Today's the only, your next game's the only game that matters. Yeah. Got to forget last week, right? All those things, all those talking points. But your ability to make that a reality is the difference between really good teams and really mediocre teams. Because the distraction of playing at home for 2 consecutive weeks in front of 90,000 folks, and the crowd's crazy and Haymark's crazy. Guess what happened to those teenage dudes? Guess what happened? They got loved on like they hadn't been loved on since before the pandemic. How did you handle success? When I heard Damian Daniels said, man, I went home. That's why he's a captain. Did you hear all those stories last week? No, you didn't. You did not. You did not hear that everybody went home. Ramir Johnson went home. So I'm on the way. High-fived him and everything. When you see people doing the right thing, this team has a recent history of doing things right, doing a lot of things right. And then they do some things that just are mind-boggling. The line between average and great isn't that wide here at Nebraska. It's not. People's frustrations are because they see the line. If you tell me that we can fast forward and we can ask Mr. Predicto, hey, does Nebraska win the rest of its games? And he said yes, I would not be surprised. But I would not be surprised either if you asked him that question and he said, hey, will they lose all their games? I wouldn't be surprised if he said no. That's this team. They are capable of beating everybody on their schedule. They're also capable of losing to everybody on the schedule. And we as fans are just going to sit here and ride, and our emotions are going to be tied to it. And there's nothing we can do about it. It's a roller coaster. That's just how it works. So, that's where that is. Nick, it's a great weekend. It's a terrible college football weekend.
I noticed that.
It is it's a terrible college football weekend. There are no top 20 matchups. There are no games where,
besides Kentucky, Georgia.
Yes.
But Georgia's still a 22.5 favorite.
Right? Like
what? Like
right? Okay. And that's the game that everybody. It's a weird week. Major League Baseball playoffs. We know who the Final Four teams are. It would be fair to say that not everybody's happy with who's playing. I would also think it's fair that everybody saw last night's game and saw the pitch and just went, ugh, that's horrible. But we'll talk about the playoffs. We'll talk about the NFL schedule. Jay will call in and give us his picks. We'll do that at some point. Mr. Predictor will come in. We've got Nick trivia, and I picked a song. It's Friday.
We may need to do it before 5 p.m. because I gotta get out of here at 4:45.
Don't challenge me.
I'm just saying. I need to make sure you're on your game today. DP,
don't challenge me
because I'm feeling good.
I'm looking at
Big Sky's here in the audience.
Well, there's we can double up on this one. I actually put it at 4:45.
Perfect.
So there's that, sir.
Sounds good.
We'll talk more about Minnesota, and then we'll get into some Nick karaoke.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. you not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
When everything is changing, you need a store that's a constant. A store that has the brands your family loves and the value that you need. A store where you can stock up, pick up, and drive up. A store that's close to home and feels like home. A store that puts the health and safety of you and your family above all else. And a store that's always here to help. At Kohl's, we don't know what next year will look like. We just know that we'll be here for you no matter what. Kohl's, here today, here to stay. See store or kohls.com for details.
Welcome to Friendly Neighbors. Welcome to maintenance-free living. Welcome to Carriage Glen. Welcome home. It's everything you'd want in an active 55-plus rental community right here in Lincoln. Spacious floor plans, numerous amenities, beautiful surroundings near Holmes Lake, and much more. Plus, with Carriage Glen's current move-in special, you can save thousands if you act now. Carriage Glen invites you to take a personal tour or visit them online at carriageglenoflincoln.com. Discover the place you'll love to call home.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Time to replace your heating and air system? Get local utility rebates and big cash discounts from Bryant. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. We do whatever it takes.
Prost, beer drinkers, and get ready for the best Oktoberfest party in the city at Kfxl Brewing Company in the Haymarket this Saturday, October 16th. Stop by anytime from noon to 10 p.m. Admission is free, and there will be live music going the entire time. Cornhole begins at 1 o'clock, and Stein Stamina goes from 2 to 6 p.m. Buy a beer Stein for $20, and you'll get your first fill free. Plus, a German Oktoberfest-inspired menu made from Grata will be available for food throughout. It's Oktoberfest from noon to 10 p.m. on Saturday at Kfxl Brewing Company in the Haymarket.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or Comfort Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Eggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Experiencing increased body fat, low sex drive, lack of energy, or general fatigue? Vitalize Health offers testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy to boost hormone levels and build muscle mass. Call Vitalize Health today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, I saw on television you have more than 500 new Hondas in stock or on the way. Now, I'm sure the listeners would like to hear more about that.
Well, Charlie, it's true. We have truckloads of new Hondas arriving just about every day. What's different is you won't see them on the lot very long because most all of them are pre-sold. And that's what we're encouraging all of our customers to do is get in here, get their order in as soon as possible.
Well, tell me, Andy, will they have to wait long?
Not really. It could be a few days or maybe even a few weeks, but not long at all. So I really invite everyone to come on out and experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Thank you, Andy. Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to old school. You guys are great. Because we've sold quite a few books in the last hour and a half. Thank you very much. I'm going to, as a part of the prizes that we give away today, I will sign a couple of books. I actually have a couple of them here. I will sign a couple of them as well. You guys have been exceptional. And the notes that went along with it, greatly appreciate it. You guys are way cool. The impact of influence is done well, and that's kind of the point. From the Starter Human text line, can you imagine the atmosphere if Nebraska wins out? Then can you imagine the frustration of knowing at that point we should have been 11-1? That's exactly my point, is that this team, where it is, I would not be surprised. And yes, this is the fan base now. There's a lot of what ifism. And it's appropriate. Like, it's absolutely appropriate. You know? Jesus, there's no such thing as a terrible college football weekend. I love college football. It's just not the best schedule. It's not the best schedule. I mean, yes, I will have my eyes. I mean, tomorrow we don't have a remote. We will be in studio from 8:30 a.m. until 11 to the kickoff. We would do I believe it's Jake Sorensen and I for a large portion of that, but because I don't know who else is going to be around. And then the post-game show starts immediately after the game from Tanner's, and we'll do the entire thing from Tanner's. And again, make plans. We are raffling off, or we're giving away a Heisman Trophy jersey that's signed by all three Nebraska Heisman winners. But you have to be there, you have to sign up, and you have to register to win. So if you haven't figured out where you're going to watch the game, that's where you're going to go. Tater says, if we go 8-4, I will get the 93.7 tattooed on my bicep. Tater, I don't know if I would ask you to do. Yeah, that's fine, especially if it's the new logo. If it's the new logo, yes. No, don't. Tater, you're the best. I just want to say that. Greatly appreciate it. Again, what you did last week was exceptional. Along the way, I wanted to go through tomorrow's football schedule because the Huskers and Minnesota is actually a top. Like, it's just from a matchup standpoint, it'll be a favorite game to watch. Just from what they do schematically against, from week to week, what they do. Do yourself a favor and to understand, to get a full grasp of what I'm talking about, go and watch the last two games against Minnesota. Just watch the highlights. And then tell me you're watching this thing and go, wow. Oof. Andy says, don't you think it's a little tough to say that people under age of 35 are settling for average seasons, and yet that is the majority of the same people that are creating the great atmospheres we've had the last few big games? Those weren't my words. That was a text. That was a text read. Those were not my words. Texter said it. I just read it. I know folks got upset. It wasn't me. No, I was just reading it. This is a conversation with my name's Paul, and this is between y'all. Husker fans need to work out how they talk to each other. Y'all need to get on the same page with each other.
Once again, that person that asked if they could see the text line the other day.
Yeah. That's a big part of why we want to suggest that, how crazy that is.
We don't need text fights.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough enough, like on Facebook, where you can actually
you can reply.
Right, you actually can reply. And we'll do some of those things. Like somebody asked us like to actually do that and then send everybody over to Facebook to do that chat.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to do that because it's no longer anonymous, right? So, and things you said are trackable, right? It's like, oh, you put that on Facebook, everybody's gonna know. So last night, Memphis beat Navy. South Alabama beat Georgia Southern in a blowout, which both games were blowouts. I was kind of surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, I think the better game. Well, I actually, so you got Marshall in North Texas, Clemson at Syracuse. And this is a big, huge honking game for Clemson.
Clemson's at Syracuse on Friday.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
Right. That's a big, huge, like a Friday night game. You got Clemson on Friday night. Cal and number 9 Oregon on a Friday night. right, on a Friday night. And then number 24, the surprising San Diego State Aztecs against San Jose State. All of those are Friday night games. Of course, you've got a little baseball. We'll get to that later in the show. And then some of the games for tomorrow. And again, as Nick mentioned, UCF at number 3 Cincinnati. Woo. Yeah, like number 10 Michigan and Indiana. Again, okay. Here we have number 12 Oklahoma State and number 25 Texas. And if a game ever screamed letdown, like letdown game, this one's it. Auburn goes into number 17 Arkansas. Now, Auburn normally this would be like a big game. Number 20 Florida travels to Baton Rouge and goes to LSU. And
once again,
normally, but here's the thing. This may be it's the ESPN game. This may be you talk about hot seat. If LSU steps on its own toe and stubs its toe tomorrow, Ed Orgeron will be in the news on Monday.
Yes.
Just mark it down because that's what the Aggies, number 21 Aggies go to Missouri. And again, this is another gotcha game. Like, how do you stay on the level? How do you stay on that level that you had against Alabama by going to Missouri?
I'm curious if Texas A&M's the 21st best team in the country.
Well,
they jumped quite a bit.
Well,
just
they should. They beat the number 1 team in the country.
Alabama.
They beat the number 1 team in the country. You deserve some conversation. Nothing wrong with that because nobody else would be favored against them.
Oh, no.
So, look, man, put them where they've earned that. Rutgers travels to Northwestern in a game that you can get tickets for $2. And I mean good seats. You can get good seats. Yale goes to UConn. Like I just thought
that's probably the best game of the weekend.
Like I chuckled as I said that. Midday, so after the Huskers play, number 11 Kentucky and Wandale Robinson go to Athens, Georgia to play against the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs. Purdue, after a tough loss against Minnesota, they will travel to number 2 Iowa. Number 19 BYU will try to bounce back and go to Baylor.
Oh, that'll be an interesting one.
Which like they'll sling that thing around. Miami at North Carolina. Here's one that I was kind of tickled by. So Alabama at number 5 has to go to one of their least favorite places, and they have to go to Starkville. Yeah. They got to go to Starkville and face Mississippi State. The cowbells and the keychains and the jugs, the plastic jugs of milk with keys in them. Mm-hmm. It'll be loud. 6:00 night game. That's worth some extra points for Mississippi State. Alabama's got to answer some questions.
One thing about Miami, North Carolina, that could be a hot seat game too. If North Carolina pounds Miami, Manny Diaz is starting to be pushed up against the wall a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the program. This is one where the money
and Miami's without Derek King for the rest of the year.
Yeah, which for whatever reason he hasn't played well, and I think that's a big part of the story. That they had Heisman expectation or Heisman conversation expectation and didn't get it. Number 13. So TCU goes to Oklahoma. Oklahoma at number 4. You get a new quarterback. You get young Mr. Williams at quarterback.
You know something we don't know? No, I'm kidding. I mean, come on now.
I'm just
talk about hot seat. See if Spencer Rattler's still an Oklahoma student by Monday morning.
So the boy's mom will call him a starter. I'm gonna call him a starter too.
If the binoculars saw him taking reps with the first team, it is what it is.
He took 66% of the reps, is from what I'm told. And then the night game, Arizona State at Utah, and I think the Utes will have an advantage there and be able to get that thing done. Back to the text line. You guys are funny. He did want to change his. He wanted to change his name to Husker Sperry. What defines Sperry? What is the definition of that?
All I know of a Sperry's aren't they shoes?
I'm asking. Any options?
Yeah, they are.
Any answers why we aren't running maybe triple option with Yant and Johnson too much? They do have a combination with them in the same backfield, but it wouldn't be to. I don't think it would be to run the option off of it. As a matter of fact, I think it would chance to get them downhill. Texter says, if I brought beers from work, would anybody there drink them? No need for shout outs. It's just one's supposed to be. Yeah. The answer is yes. Yes, and then yes again. How far away from the top 25 are the Huskers? They were 2 wins away. They were. Now they are 3. They are 3. They would have to beat Minnesota, Purdue, and Ohio State to get that sort of consideration. And you might have to win all the rest of your games to be. You might have to win all 4 games to be top 25. Yeah, you definitely have to win all 4 games. Now think about it. Yeah, you have to win all. You may have to win all 5 games. This may be an end of the season project.
Yeah.
Sandman asks, I haven't been keeping track. How's Wando doing at Kentucky? Very well.
Do you want me to read the stats?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Receiving wise, well, he's the SEC leader.
Mm-hmm.
37 catches, 527 yards, 4 touchdowns. Rushing. Here's the interesting one. Rushing. 46 attempts last year for Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
He has 4 carries for 78 yards at Kentucky.
It's amazing what happens when you use people the way they want to be used.
And their strengths.
Brian says, when you're in it, you take it for granted. Nebraska's 3-4 and had sold out every game this year. Iowa's number 2 in the nation, just had their first sellout of the year. That's, again, this show is about perspective. It really is. Like, to tell people, honor what you have in front of you. Yeah, Husker Sparky, it wasn't. Okay.
Yep, we got it.
Now
I
understand what that was. It's like, what is it?
We also got the ginger beard there.
Nice. Okay.
I like that one.
So we've changed a few.
That could be Happer or Schaefer undercover.
Yeah, and nothing surprises me. None of that surprises me. So, all right. So what we'll do, I want to take an early break because we need to get 2 contests in.
Yes.
In the next segment, we have 2 contests. So both are one is, will Nick know the answer, and then Nick karaoke. So we've got 2 of those things in there.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm asking for the karaoke is that somebody call in and give their review. Give me give me your review of Nick, but you have to call in to the Honda Lincoln hotline 402-464-5685 and then load up, because then behind that we'll have Nick trivia. So just stay tuned. Go ahead and call now. Get yourself queued up and lined up. We'll do that when we return to Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Time to replace your heating and air system? Get local utility rebates and big cash discounts from Bryant. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. We do whatever it takes.
Starting the right career is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. You want to enjoy your career, be challenged, have fun, earn a great weekly paycheck, and work for a great company. If you're looking for a career change or right out of high school, the John Henry's Plumbing Apprentice program may be the perfect answer. You'll get paid while getting hands-on training. We focus on your skills while you engage in real-world learning. Why not join the John Henry's team today? Apply at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air. Want a free pair of Nebraska football tickets? Head to theticketfm.com's contest tab and register for a free pair of tickets each week of a home game, courtesy of Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers and 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, Kfxl Weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Your KFXL Fox Nebraska weather tonight, mostly clear and cold. Maybe some areas of scattered frost. Overnight lows 35. Sunshine, light winds for the weekend. Highs 65. Saturday 73 on Sunday. I'm KFXL Chief Forecaster Ken Fountain for 93.7 The Ticket.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
Welcome to Friendly Neighbors. Welcome to maintenance-free living. Welcome to Carriage Glen. Welcome home. It's everything you'd want in an active 55-plus rental community right here in Lincoln. Spacious floor plans, numerous amenities, beautiful surroundings near Holmes Lake, and much more. Plus, with Carriage Glen's current move-in special, you can save thousands if you act now. Carriage Glen invites you to take a personal tour or visit them online at carriageglenoflincoln.com. Discover the place you'll love to call home.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Prost, beer drinkers, and get ready for the best Oktoberfest party in the city at Kfxl Brewing Company in the Haymarket this Saturday, October 16th. Stop by anytime from noon to 10 p.m. Admission is free, and there will be live music going the entire time. Cornhole begins at 1 o'clock, and Stein Stamina goes from 2 to 6 p.m. Buy a beer Stein for $20, and you'll get your first fill free. Plus, a German Oktoberfest-inspired menu made from Grata will be available for food throughout. It's Oktoberfest from noon to 10 p.m. on Saturday at Kfxl Brewing Company in the Haymarket.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
He's all fired up. I'm just telling you, Nikki Beats is all fired up. He's ready to do his thing. To win a signed copy of my book, Impact of Influence, all you have to do is call and give your American Idol review of Nick singing.
Would you send me to Hollywood?
Like would you give him a golden ticket? Would you send him home? We just need one person to call, 464-5685. Today's selection, the Jackson 5. I Want You Back.
We don't have the words yet. Oh, let me tell you now. When I had you to myself, I didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always made you stand out in the crowd. But someone picked you from the bunch. Once glance was all it took. Now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go. But now since I see you in his arms, I want you back. Yes, I do now.
I want you back.
Ooh, baby.
I want you back.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I want you back.
Nah, 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 nah. Trying to live without your love is one long sleepless night. Let me show you, girl, that I know wrong from right. Every street you walk on, I leave tear stains on the ground. Following the girl I didn't even know or want around. We're done. That's all. That's enough. I started losing it there.
You got red in the face.
Yeah, I
got red in the face.
I didn't control my breathing as well as I was hoping.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Mark Onweiler, you don't count. Your review
better
doesn't
than he
count.
expects.
But Mark says bad, but better than expected.
Appreciate
Hogan
it.
says weak start, strong finish.
It was
Bravo.
a bad start for me. I didn't feel good about the start.
Okay, so we need a listener. Call in 464-5685 on the Honda Lincoln hotline. Give your review.
Yes.
Of Nick. Big Sky, would you give your review of Nick?
I hope he heard it.
Oh, he heard it. You didn't see his head he almost whiplashed himself?
At the start, I was so off key, it was not good.
Yeah, the start was rough, but I thought you pulled it back together. I do really like that song. Yeah. And unfortunately, I didn't think you did it the proper justice. But for Nick, I think it was good.
That's good.
Line.
That's good.
That's
Thanks,
a great
Big Guy.
text.
Woo.
Drizzle Fish, that's a great.
Woo.
That's a great tweet. That is a great text. That is absolutely a great text, Drizzle Fish. That is, this is what we're dealing with. So, oh my goodness gracious. Dustin is on the line on Honda Lincoln Hotline. Dustin, what's happening? Give your review, sir.
Well.
It was that good?
For sure, right? We acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Then you picked it up.
Yeah.
It was good. I was grooving in my car. I liked it. And then at the end, I don't know if you just don't know the lyrics well enough or song well enough, but it fell apart big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I'm telling you, Dustin, I just couldn't control my breathing. I was getting out of breath.
Yeah, for sure. So you definitely can make it to Hollywood, but like Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, Dustin.
That's exceptional. That's exceptional. Dustin, I will leave the book for you here at the desk. Thank you for calling in, brother.
Come on.
You can go to Hollywood.
Hey, I made somebody's ears bleed. So hey, that's my job, right?
Okay, so now you can go. That's one contest. We're gonna get both of them in here. Texture says, "Is this what sports talk radio has come to?" We're having fun. We're having fun because sports can't be serious all the time. So I like laughing. You can be mad at me later. It's unbelievable. It was like sweet angels singing in hell.
Hey, sweet angels. Sweet angels. That's what I read out of that.
Drew Carr. Yeah, look, that's pretty good. He says, unlike Nebraska, you fumbled at the beginning of the game, not at the end, but you battled back. Eric said he thought he hit it spot on. And I can't punish him that way. I cannot punish him that way. All right, so we're gonna double up on some Nick here. Here's your chance now. Nick, we have questions. We have 2 clips.
Yes.
The listener can tell us which clip they want us to play.
Okay.
To see if Nick knows who's in the clip. So call in 464-5685 and we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fair. Right? So that's fine. That's good. 464-5685. Nick, are you feeling like a song, like a theme song, or like a song itself?
Really, I feel good about either.
Okay. All right.
I will say this. The last couple days, Big Sky, I have surprised some people with my statistical knowledge.
Mm-hmm. True.
However, so I've been on a little bit of a warm streak.
Yeah.
But theme songs and songs are a different story.
Yeah.
I'm not always so hot.
Okay.
Nobody wants to play.
Choose, Nick. I'll have you choose.
All right.
Song or theme song?
Well, when I rolled up, song was clicked on, so
Okay.
we're gonna do this one here.
Play the song, and then let's see. Here's the thing. That wasn't the song I thought he was gonna drop, but it literally is like the same people.
All right.
Although done originally, who did it originally is a tougher question.
Oh, I think I only know one person that. I think people need to call in, like, for real.
Do you think you know the answer?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. Big Sky. I'll let you be. You'll be the voice of reason here.
All right. Perfect.
Do you think that Nick knows the artist?
Do you want me to play it again?
Oh, it was Twist and Shout.
Oh.
Do you think he knows the artist?
No.
Isn't it the Beatles? Didn't the Beatles do something?
That version.
Yeah.
That version.
Oh gosh.
I
don't know. I do not. Nice job, Big Sky.
Play the theme song. Play the theme song. Come on.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
Is it happy days?
Okay, but there's a question. There's a question behind it.
Okay.
The trivia question is, can you name one character from that TV show? Don't answer. Big Sky, do you think he knows this or not?
See, I have the advantage that a caller doesn't. I can kind of look at him, see if there's anything going on behind the eyes. And I think I might have saw some recollection there. So I'm going to say he does know a character on Happy Days.
Nick, do you know a character on Happy Days?
Wasn't Fonzie part of Happy Days?
Look at you go. Look, you're on a streak. You're on a streak, bruh.
Yes.
I wanted them all.
This is good for you. There's a good weekend in store for you.
It was a very good week, and now it's just carrying into the weekend.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, Big Sky, I appreciate you having faith in me. Something that not a lot of callers do when we play Nick or Nah.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
Which for a good reason most of the time.
Yeah,
But
absolutely right.
now you're starting to find my lane.
Well, again, I need to find the baseline. Like, what's the happy median? The things where you're going to know half, you're not going to know half.
Yes.
I still have to work on that with Big Sky because Big Sky, like, I'm getting a pretty good feel. For what that is. So that'll be it for the first hour of Old School. Sit tight. Second hour, Old School, coming right up on 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join the revolution with Jim and Trav this week as Kurt Wells from Bowhunter Magazine and host of Bowhunter TV recounts his recent elk hunt where he arrowed a massive 7x9 bull. Then Alan Probst from North American Trapper walks us through trapping rules, regulations, and tips that will make us more proficient fur bearers. Finally, Cat Daddy gets us up to speed and ready for the fall catfishing frenzy. The revolution is presented by Outdoor Channel, Sportsman Channel, World Fishing Network, and My Outdoor TV. Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Lincoln's Ticket to Sports.
Brokers Insurance Agency is currently hiring full-time and part-time insurance professionals. They will provide you with the training and education to obtain your insurance licenses. Brokers Insurance Agency takes pride in educating clients with the best insurance program to help their clients meet their specific goals. If you're a hard-working, motivated person and would like to discuss a great career opportunity with Brokers Insurance Agency, please call Ken Richards at 402-420-5353 or email service@brokersinsuranceagencyne.com. The team at Brokers Insurance Agency is looking forward to helping you get started with your insurance career.
Want a free pair of Nebraska football tickets? Head to theticketfm.com's contest tab and register for a free pair of tickets each week of a home game, courtesy of Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers and 93.7 The Ticket.
Experiencing increased body fat, low sex drive, lack of energy, or general fatigue? Vitalize Health offers testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy to boost hormone levels and build muscle mass. Call Vitalize Health today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
Welcome to Friendly Neighbors. Welcome to maintenance-free living. Welcome to Carriage Glen. Welcome home. It's everything you'd want in an active 55-plus rental community right here in Lincoln. Spacious floor plans, numerous amenities, beautiful surroundings near Holmes Lake, and much more. Plus, with Carriage Glen's current move-in special, you can save thousands if you act now. Carriage Glen invites you to take a personal tour or visit them online at carriageglenoflincoln.com. Discover the place you'll love to call home.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the sidetrack band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Kfxl Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hour number 2, Old School on a Friday. It's Beat Minnesota week, and my feeling, my mood has changed about the game throughout the week. Big Sky has stepped in for Nick, and he will carry us through tonight, and then he will run the board and run the ship. In our tonight's presentation of high school football, who we got? What's the game, Big Sky?
Oh, it's a old rivalry. Used to be a Class B rivalry. Now it's kind of a split class rivalry, Pius versus Norris. And growing up, that was the rivalry I heard about from my mom who graduated from Norris. So I am keenly.
Your mom's a Titan?
My mom is a former Titan.
Wow. Okay, so you're connected to this thing.
Yes, so I'm excited to finally get to experience the rivalry.
Well, one of these days you gotta make sure you actually go out and actually experience.
I had the intentions to every year I was at school here, so we can see how well I did that.
It's still over. Just over. Okay, good deal. Big Sky, what are you watching on TV? What are you watching? I need to hear this. What are you watching?
Yeah, you and Buzzy were talking about it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, contemplating if I wanted to answer this question honestly. I watch a lot of superhero stuff, so Marvel and then Star Wars as well is usually what I watch. So
it's just hockey and Marvel, is that
basically?
It's just that's kind of the deal.
Yep. So the Mandalorian. I just finished the animated Marvel What If series last week with everybody else on Wednesday.
That is so weird to me. That is so weird. I'm old. I just never did. I don't understand. To bounce back, the text line is on fire. Again, folks, you can text in the Starter Heyman text line 464-5685. Call in the Honda Lincoln hotline at 402-464-5685. So the text line said, one, they're surprised that Nick knew Fonzie's name. But then the texter just asked a question. If a new salesperson walked in the studio and joked, saying, I'm the new Herb Tarlick, would you understand what he was talking about? Do you know who Herb Tarlick is?
I just looked him up, actually, because I do not.
Cheater. So have you never seen that TV show?
It's the TV show. What is the name of this
WKRP in Cincinnati?
Okay, no, I have never even heard of that.
You're in the radio business and you've never heard of WKRP in Cincinnati?
No.
Every now and then I give assignments. At some point this weekend, you need to watch at least 2 episodes of WKRP in Cincinnati. They're 30 minutes long. It's not going to take you long at all. You cannot be in the radio business and not know WKRP in Cincinnati. It's just not allowed. I would let me just put it this way. If you walked in and said you wanted to intern here and told me on that day that you had never seen WKRP in Cincinnati, I would not have allowed you to intern here. That's how mandatory this is.
Fortunately, I got my internship over a year ago now.
Yeah.
Mark, if you're listening, could you tell me if that is also a criteria for your hiring process?
You forgot the chain of command, haven't you?
No. I'm just asking. I'm asking Mark because he's the one that hired me originally.
No, I would have questioned Mark. If Mark told me that he hired an intern who had not seen WKRP in Cincinnati, he and I would have shut the door.
Like, I'm asking if that had come out in my original one a year ago.
Probably the answer should be no, you can't. Okay, so the question is, right? Here's the other question. Big Sky, do you know Fonzie's full name? That's from the text line. That's not me asking. That's from the text line. Do you know Fonzie's full name?
No.
Okay. Oh, we've got so much work to do.
Is his first name Alfonso?
Arthur.
Really? Alfonso would have made way more sense.
Arthur. Ray is correct. If you've never watched the show, Ray, I'll give you half credit on that. He says the other, if you only needed one reason, it's Lonnie Anderson. The other one would be Bailey. Bailey on WKRP. It's kind of like Gilligan's Island. You were either you either love Ginger or Marianne. Like, you had to choose. The show's there. Yeah, we need to do that. As a matter of fact, check the system. I believe we have that drop. Thanksgiving, the turkey drop is probably in the system. And it's one of the most famous TV scenes ever. We play it every year for Thanksgiving just because it fits and it's so appropriate. But yeah, so you got Gerald, Brett, Ray, Ellis. They're all saying, Big Sky, you should go watch this. So it's either in there under Turkey Drop or WKRP. Yeah, one of the two. It's definitely in the system somewhere because, yeah, you keep looking for it. Okay, because it'll be worth it. Lots to talk about. I mean, your baseball playoffs. We're now to believe that the American League Series between Boston and Houston. Houston had its way during the season. As a matter of fact, they were pretty impressive as they looked. And it's a weird kind of dynamic. I'm curious, folks. Let me know who you're rooting for. I have a lot of friends who are Red Sox friends, and I have a lot of friends who are Astros fans. Let me know who you're rooting for. Game 1 of the ALS is tonight. 7 o'clock first pitch. Is there anyone in the station like Bulldog from Fraser? That would probably be Schaefer. I would say Schaefer's the Bulldog of the station from Fraser. Big Sky, have you watched Fraser?
Yeah, I know Fraser.
Okay, so you do get the whole business behind it. If you can't find it, we'll load it at the break because it's the turkey drop is exceptional. Yeah, I think, man, that's weird. Who would be? Mark is definitely the station manager. Like that fits. We do not. We have a Bailey because we have Nicole now. So, that fits. Do we have a? Man, I don't think we have a Johnny Fever. I think Connor is as close to Johnny Fever as possible. Wow. Okay, we got to work on our WKRB stuff. Yeah.
And to answer on name texter, no, I do not watch the show Big Sky.
We're working on him, texter. We're working on him. I actually think he'd like it because it's kind of weird and it's got a bit of mystery to it. So I think your intellectual curiosity would take over and you'd tie it to the show. You go, okay, I'm going to figure this out. Like, I need to know who everybody is pretty quickly. Are you that person, Big Sky, where if you watch a series, you kind of want to figure it out before you watch
I will spend an inordinate amount of time thinking about things that I've watched. It's probably the reason why I liked reading is because I was able to get to the very end as fast as I possibly could, so I could figure everything out.
You gotta know.
I have to know.
You're one of those guys. That's perfectly fine. So I haven't had your take on tomorrow's game yet. I've heard everybody else is in the stations. I have not heard yours. I always want to warn listeners when it comes to Big Sky and his takes, because Big Sky likes to shake the room. Like, he really wants you texters to just pick up your phone and start have your fingers warmed up before Big Sky gives his take. So have at it, kind sir. What are your immediate thoughts? Sneeze first. Get it out of the way. There we go. You caught it.
All right. So tomorrow's game feels like it should be a blowout. That's what it's felt like since we saw what this team could do against Michigan State and Michigan. And I guess probably since the Oklahoma game, it's kind of felt like Nebraska is maybe a step above Minnesota.
Okay.
But I have a hard time rationalizing looking past Minnesota in that way when this team is 3-4 and they have struggled mightily against Minnesota in the past, even when, as we saw last year, Minnesota was terrible against the run and Scott Frost almost ignored the run in that game. So I'm kind of in the middle of,
wanting to say it's going to be a blowout and expecting to win easily like I was against Northwestern. And I feeling like this could potentially be a trap game before a bye week. So I'm going to say it's going to be a close game because there's almost going to be a Michigan hangover on this team. And so I think it'll be a close game, but I think Nebraska will end up victorious, which is it's a rare prediction for me, saying that Nebraska's going to win.
Well, that again, I can think of maybe 2 other games where where you pick the Huskers. So, and you guys need to be on the video stream to see the smile on his face, the smirk on his face as he says it. Like, oh, I really don't want to pick you guys. And you're a Husker, so you're a student. Is that the mood? Are you unique in that when it comes to student body?
I've come to realize that I am a unique Husker fan because I'm not from Nebraska.
Okay.
And so I see things a little bit differently than everyone else does. And it usually gets me, called names on the text line. So,
but do your friends call you out?
No, but my friends are ridiculous the other direction, I guess. I'm roommates with a kid from Chicago, so he also similarly sees Nebraska kind of from that different perspective. And then my one roommate from Nebraska is one of those people that thinks we should have never fired Bo Pelini. So he's just looking for justification for that all the time. And he also hates, I'm not going to say he hates, but he strongly dislikes our current quarterback, which I am not on that train at all because I am one of his biggest defenders.
Why? Okay, so what's his issue with Adrian? What is it big play Adrian that's the problem? Is it passer Adrian that's the problem? Is it leadership Adrian that's the problem? What's their thing?
It's 2019 Adrian that left a bad taste in their mouth because I think he looks at that 2019 and sees more wins and places the lion's share of the blame on Adrian. And I mean, 2019 was probably his worst year at Nebraska, but again, I don't think that he is as more blamable than anyone else on that team. I think it was just not good. It was a bad team.
Who would you blame that 2019 season?
I think it's a well, how.
I love the fact that I can do this with you.
I'm not a Scott Frost guy. I'm not a Scott Frost guy. So I would probably say a lot of the things went into coaching. I think you can point to a lot of decisions that staff made in the offseason leading up to 2019 that ultimately led to what we saw that season. Asking Adrian to gain weight to become more, I guess, durable. It looked like a great decision at the time. It turned out to be a really bad one because he lost a step. He just wasn't as fast as he was the year before. He slimmed back down to his 2018 size. He's fast and explosive again. Some of the play calls were just a mystery. And so I'm going to have to say coaching was the 2019 issue.
Why do you shrug your shoulders when you say that? Because it's how you feel.
Because you knew I was gonna. That's what you knew I was gonna say. So you didn't even need to ask.
I did too need to ask. I absolutely needed to ask. That's what conversations are about. Sometimes I need for you to reiterate the things that you've said before. Look, these are things that you.
I was trying to avoid throwing a little grenade into the text line today, but DP is going to make me do it.
Sometimes a little chaos is good for the spirit. Hey, so you're good with this version of Adrian?
Oh, this is probably. I mean, I'm going to preface this by saying that my sports consciousness developed around 2009. So any Husker pre-2009, with the exception of Amon Green, I don't even consider them in this.
Okay.
Because I've gone back and I've done a lot of research on Amon Green because he is my favorite Husker. But Adrian is the most enjoyable quarterback to watch at Nebraska because where Tommy Armstrong sometimes had that big playability, he didn't have the big playability of Adrian Martinez. Adrian, you get the feeling that every time he touches the ball, he could house it 80 yards with his legs or his arm.
Okay.
And I never got that impression with Tommy. Adrian is just a little bit better of a runner than Tommy was. So Adrian is probably the most fun I've ever had watching a quarterback in Nebraska.
Is Adrian Martinez the best player on this team?
I think he's the most impactful player on the team. I think if he is having a good game, it's going to bode well for the Huskers more so than anyone else on the team. I think that it's more crucial for him to be on his A game because there's going to be no one to pick up the slack if Adrian's having an off game. Whereas some of the other players, if they are having an off game, some other players can pick up the slack.
And usually it's Adrian Martinez.
Right.
Usually it's Adrian Martinez. Okay, so let's go through the Big Ten Conference. Are there what quarterbacks do you enjoy watching more than Adrian Martinez, if there are any?
Repeat the question.
In the Big Ten Conference, for you, strictly for you, if they're all playing on the same screen, all the quarterbacks in the Big Ten Conference are playing on the same team, who is the most enjoyable to watch in the Big Ten more than Adrian Martinez?
You can get rid of Illinois, either Illinois quarterback. You can get rid of either Northwestern quarterback.
Okay.
Talia Tagovailoa is good, but he's boring. So I'm not going to watch him.
Okay.
Sean Clifford is a lesser version of Adrian. He's more of a power runner, which is kind of weird, the quarterback position. So I'll watch him, but he's not going to be the one I'm going to.
Okay.
Petrus, Iowa Gross, get that out of here. Michigan State, they don't even use their quarterback. He's not the focal point of the offense. So
were you saying that the quarterback was gross or that
Iowa's gross?
Okay, fair.
Yes.
Fair.
Petrus, I got nothing against
Fair.
the guy, but he plays for Iowa.
I just wanted to be clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Michigan State, they're a run offense, so I would watch them for their running back, not their quarterback.
Okay.
Michigan does the 2 quarterback system, so and I don't think McNamara's particularly special. I think Harbaugh's telling you that by running a 2 quarterback system in the first place, so not going to go there. Tanner Morgan is a pocket passer, and that doesn't get me out of my chair.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd probably say Adrian Martinez is my favorite quarterback to watch in the Big Ten. CJ Stroud's close, but I think he'll be more fun to watch as he gets more experience.
Where would you put Adrian Martinez in the all Big Ten quarterback conversation? Is he first team, second team, third team, honorable mention? Where would you put him?
He's definitely in the top 3, and I don't think he's 3. So I'm gonna take it as people will say he's top 2, and he's definitely not number 2.
Right.
I'm gonna take it a step back. He's top 3, and he's not 3.
Okay.
So he's 2 or 1, and I think that has a little bit to do with how fun he is to watch, how good he's been playing this year, and it kind of seems like a down year for quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
Agreed. It looks and feels different.
And I feel like you get a guy like Ryan Helinski for Northwestern. He has a good game against Nebraska. He just doesn't have anybody around him to help him. He had a very efficient passing game, but he ends the game with 2 fumbles. I don't think he threw for a passing touchdown at all. And it's just like, can you really blame this kid for having a pretty good game on a terrible team?
I expect him in the transfer portal next year.
Well, he was already in the transfer portal once.
No, I just seem like he'll just leave. If you're not going to get it better around him, he's just going to leave. That's fair, though, putting Adrian in that space. So when you look at Minnesota tomorrow, who has the better run attack tomorrow? Nebraska, Minnesota? From running backs alone.
Well, with that qualifier,
right.
You want to say Minnesota, but with their injuries, they have a scatter injury at running back right now in Minnesota. There's so many things to consider with this question because PJ Fleck shows belief in his run game. We've seen Scott Frost lose trust in his run game very quickly. There are 2 guys at least on Nebraska right now. I think I could probably say 3 that would have been starting above the guy who just got hurt from Minnesota. Probably not Mo Ibrahim, but there are 3 guys on Nebraska that would start over their second string, and now 3 guys that would start over whoever they have in now. So I'm going to say Nebraska simply because there's more talent there.
Offensive line, where folks are talking about how big and strong Minnesota's line is. Who in your mind has the better offensive line, Minnesota or Nebraska?
If Prohaska was still healthy, I would have probably said this new revamped Nebraska offensive line because they haven't looked terrible.
Okay.
But it's going to be Minnesota because we're back to where we were at the beginning of the season.
Who's the better coach, Scott Frost or PJ Fleck?
This is going to get Nebraska fans some Nebraska fans a little bit riled up, but I was actually talking to Rico about this during the first hour. I don't understand how Nebraska fans kind of just discount PJ Fleck. He's irritating. He's incredibly annoying. I'm not going to dispute that. But he had more conference wins in one season at Minnesota than Scott Frost has had his entire time in Nebraska. So PJ Fleck is a better coach right now. I'm not saying that his ceiling is higher than Scott Frost's ceiling in Nebraska, but for right now, PJ Fleck, in my opinion, is a better coach than Scott Frost.
All of this is ceiling because nobody's where they feel like they should be. So the ceiling part of it, yeah, Minnesota's still got ceiling room. Nebraska's got tons of ceiling room. Who apexes first?
I think, like that texter said in the first segment of or maybe the second segment of this show, I think we've already seen the best of PJ Fleck at the Power 5 level with that 10-2 season at Minnesota.
Okay.
So he apexed first because it's already passed, and we're kind of he's just riding on that now. He might reach that again, but I don't think he's ever going to do better than 10-2 at Minnesota or 12-2 at Minnesota.
Is that talent based or coaching based? Is he the restriction or is the talent restriction? Because getting folks to Minneapolis hasn't always been easy. He's done a pretty good job of it, but
if you look at that 10-2 team at Minnesota, it was probably a B+ team, and you really feel you get the impression that they found some gems and they got some breaks in recruiting to get there, and so I think that's probably the ceiling of their talent that they can potentially get there, and I really feel like that was PJ Fleck at his best, and I think they were both kind of just B+. That year, PJ Fleck was a B+ coach. That year, their talent was B+. In the grand scheme of college football, they were B+. And so I think they both have to be at their best, and that's what you're going to get. At Nebraska, I think you have a little bit better chance of getting higher end talent simply because of the history with Tom Osborne, Devaney. It's still a big brand. It's considered a blue blood by big media markets, or big media personalities. So I'm going to say that PJ Fleck is already apexed. Scott Frost apex is yet to come, hopefully.
Well, you have UCF.
I don't think you consider I don't think you can consider a group of 5 undefeated season his apex.
That's literally how he got the job, though.
If we're projecting that he's going to do better in Nebraska.
Okay. Because that's the Scott Frost argument, right?
Right.
Well, he's done 13-0. That matters.
Right. But I think a 10-2 season at Nebraska would be better than a undefeated season at UCF.
Really?
Yeah, I think it would have more value. It would raise his stock more.
But they weren't they in the conversation? Wasn't UCF in the national conversation?
People were talking about them, but they weren't really considered for the playoff.
Yeah, I just find that odd that people will discount Scott Frost's 13-0 season.
Oh, I'm not discounting it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that because of the increased level of competition, and it being at a bigger brand in a better conference, winning 10 games and losing 2 in the regular season would mean more than a 12-0 season at UCF. I also feel like people would look at it and say, if you look at where he's come from at Nebraska to where he is now, in a prospective 10-2 season, he'd raised it further than he did at UCF, because right now there's a narrative out there that the guys he used at UCF to win weren't really his guys and they were leftovers from the previous coach.
And that's true, though.
Right. And so I think they would say this is completely his own thing. He has completely rebuilt this program from a terrible place, went through his lumps, and he's brought it somewhere that's relevant again, significantly relevant, because a 10-2 season in the Big Ten, you're going to be a top 15 team.
So would you rather be 13-0 at USC? So you're now Coach Big Sky, right? It's your program.
Oh, I do this all the time on NCAA Football 14.
Right.
So Coach Big Sky.
Right, Coach Big Sky. Would you rather be 13-0 and National Coach of the Year at UCF, or would you rather be 10-2 at Nebraska?
If you'd said Tulane, I would have said Tulane because I like Tulane. But
Right.
But I have no connection to UCF.
Yeah.
It would mean the world to me to even be considered for a Nebraska football coaching position.
Okay.
Because I've been raised a Husker fan my entire life. I think that's a lot of kids that grow up Husker fans dream of either playing for the team or coaching the team.
Okay.
So it would mean way more to me to say I put together a 10-2 season at Nebraska as their head coach than going undefeated and being disrespected routinely in the media as a group of 5 team that went undefeated against lesser competition. So the Nebraska 10-2 season would mean more to me.
Okay. We'll throw it to break. We'll come back. We'll dive through. We'll go through the NFL. We'll go through the college schedule. I'm going to let Big Sky run this thing. We'll get through the next 30 minutes. That was Big Sky. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. You're listening to Old School at 92.7 The Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You decide to buy new flooring, you want it installed right away. Hi, Steve Carper from O Street Carpet. With our huge in-stock supply of carpet, tile, and vinyl, wood, and laminate flooring. You buy today and we'll install it right away. While other stores don't deliver that kind of service, we do. In fact, if you'd have purchased your flooring last week at O Street, you'd be enjoying it today.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street and ostreetcarpet.com.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Early break with Sip and Jay.
Nebraska really needs to make sure they don't go down as the best team to not make a bowl game.
Think about some of the guys that wouldn't, if they don't end up in a bowl game, that wouldn't go to a bowl game. I mean, Adrian, perhaps he could come back next year.
JoJo Doman.
But yeah, the guys on like the 2 safeties. I mean, that would be horrible.
I know.
That'd be awful.
Because this team is absolutely good enough to be in a bowl.
Yeah, they're a bowl team.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Tailgating wasn't just meant for weekends. Join 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday at Chick-fil-A for Tailgate Tuesdays. Scan your app with any purchase on Tuesdays and you'll be entered to win a tailgate meal for 15 people. That's chicken nuggets, fresh fruit, and iced tea or lemonade. Winners will be contacted each Wednesday, and you can come see Tom and Bach from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 48th and O location or at South Point each week. It's Tailgate Tuesdays all season long at Chick-fil-A in Lincoln. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your KFXL Fox Nebraska weather tonight, mostly clear and cold. Maybe some areas of scattered frost. Overnight lows 35. Sunshine, light winds for the weekend. Highs 65. Saturday 73 on Sunday. I'm KFXL Chief Forecaster Ken Fountain for 93.7 The Ticket.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SCC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
Tired of interrupted printing or money-wasting long-term copier contract? Join Cartridge World's no-cost printer program. You get a free brand printer, free service maintenance and repair, free delivery. All this for just buying our high-quality, affordable printer cartridges. Simple agreements and local friendly service, as it has been for more than 25 years. Partridge World. Contact us today.
Dancing at weddings, walking the dog, playing with grandchildren. These are the small moments that make life great. They're also the moments that chronic pain steals from us. Don't let chronic pain stop you or a loved one from living life. At MD Pain, we wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. We offer the most up-to-date treatments from Nebraska's leading physicians. Don't let pain stand in your way. Call MD Pain.
Want a free pair of Nebraska football tickets? Head to the ticketfm.com's contest tab and register for a free pair of tickets each week of a home game, courtesy of Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers and 93.7 The Ticket. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Old School. I'm Big Sky. He's DP. I don't know what WKRP in Cincinnati is, and apparently that's a crime at the Ticket.
Yes, correct.
So I have the turkey drop pulled up on YouTube, and DP has instructed me as to which timestamp to go to. We are there, and now I'm going to witness the greatness.
Make it out. It's a large banner, and it says, Happy Thanksgiving from WKRP. What a sight, ladies and gentlemen. What a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's, a dark object, perhaps a skydiver, plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. Second to the third. There's no parachutes yet. Happy skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but... Oh, my God, they're turkeys! Oh, Johnny, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes! One just went through the windshield of a parked car! Johnny, this is terrible. The cars running around, pushing each other. Oh, my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Oh, people are running about. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this any longer. No, I can't go in there. Children are searching for their mothers, and not since the Hindenburg tragedy has there been anything like this. I don't know how much longer I can hold my position here, Johnny. The crowd.
Les, are you there?
I'm sorry. It just tickles. Oh, the humanity. So it was one of the very first shows that like featured radio stations. And the other one you could probably watch, it'd be pretty good. Like watch MASH because Radar had his own radio station, and that was,
I've seen MASH before.
Right, that's always pretty funny. But yeah, oh, the humanity. And yeah, just to watch, but you still need to watch 2 other episodes just to get a feel for, because Johnny Fever was a certain radio DJ type. Like each person had their own little thing. Venus Flytrap, who was cool, and he had a deep voice, and he wore really cool outfits. And then Les Nessman, who, if Jake Sorensen isn't careful, he's going to grow old into.
So does that mean he is a particular individual who needs things the right way?
Yes. Things have to be very specific to Les Nessman. And if you don't always explain things to him in the fullest detail, you get the turkey drop. You get the turkey drop, and that's kind of how it works. So, well, thank you for playing that. That was that made my day. Oh.
Looking at the studio that they were in as they're listening to this TV reporter. No, radio reporter. Okay, I wasn't sure. As they're listening to the radio reporter, that's kind of always the idea that I had of what radio was when I was a kid. So I've never seen it before, but that was always the concept that I had of it in my head.
It was something else. Like we were so easily entertained. And again, this was in network TV where there's only 3 or 4 networks at the time. So if you got a show like that, but WK, and it had a really cool like theme song that everybody knew the words for, and they all sang along. And then of course they had Lonnie Anderson, who at the time was like a swimsuit model. big blonde hair. She was exceptional. Always, you figured out that she was smarter than everybody else. But yes, and Ray is correct. Love the show. Forgot how bad the laugh track was. So back then, that's literally what you heard all the time, was this just awful laugh track.
Laugh tracks are kind of getting dragged through the mud these days.
As they should.
Friends had a pretty bad laugh track as well, and people are coming to realize that when you're not told to laugh, it might not be as funny.
Yeah, it was a very self-contained. I mean, this was kind of the message. This was kind of the way the MO is what they used, and everybody did it. I mean, same thing. All in the Family, Jeffersons, all that stuff. All those shows had the big laugh track, and it was we're going to tell you when to laugh, and it's going to be okay, and you'll follow along, and that's what they did.
About what years was WKRP coming out?
I'll look it up, but I think that it was in the 70s, 80s, maybe. Let's see what it says.
See, that's the thing. I have fairly young parents for my age.
78.
Okay.
78.
Yeah, I have fairly young parents for my age, and so I'm more of like a 90s knowledgeable child.
So what did you watch when you were in high school?
When I was in high school?
When you were in high school. Not in the 90s, but what did you watch in high school? Like, what was, because everybody, you can tie into kind of who you were as people by what was on television. They usually match up. You in high school, what were you and your friends watching?
Superheroes, Star Wars. That's pretty much been my MO for a while now.
So you didn't watch much TV. You were watching movies.
Right. And they were just getting into having those TV shows for superheroes with the Netflix shows. So I watched those, like Green Arrow or Arrow, Flash, Daredevil, Iron Fist.
Okay.
Those ones.
Do you remember your first Husker football game?
Yeah, it was the USC game day game.
Okay.
Don't remember anything. I couldn't even have told you who won unless I looked it up, because I don't remember the story, like what was going on in the game.
Right.
That I just very vividly remember the Huskers making a field goal in that game, and that is my earliest Husker memory. The first game that I remember in vivid details, unfortunately, the 2009 Big Ten championship game against the Texas Longhorns, in which they put an extra second back on the board for Mac Brown. And
2014, sound about right?
For
USC Notre Dame. USC Nebraska.
2004.
2004,
right?
All the way back.
Yes.
Okay.
2014. That was a bowl game. That was right after they fired Pelini. You had guys like Kenny Bell putting the.
So it says 2006.
Okay. Yep. That sounds about right.
Okay. Dwayne Jarrett, 2 touchdowns. 28-10. No, that was in USC. That was there.
Yes, this game was pretty sure in Memorial Stadium.
Okay. All right.
It was the last time we had game day. So if anyone remembers the last time Nebraska had game day, that was the first time I remember.
The text line will be able to tell
Yes.
us, because they're pretty good about that. But I'm going to keep looking while I try to figure out.
I do not believe Nebraska won the game.
Yeah, 2006. And here's the headline. USC will be the first number 1 ranked team to play at Memorial since number 4 Nebraska and Oklahoma in 78. And the headline, tell me if it sounds familiar. This game will show how far Nebraska has climbed.
We've been climbing for a while.
So really, there's same as it ever was.
Well, I think if you look at my sports consciousness, as I like to refer to it, you can get a real feel for myself as a Nebraska fan, because obviously I'm not in elementary school. Like, my teachers aren't talking about the Nebraska game. I have a Nebraska shirt on because that's where my parents started their married lives, was in Nebraska, and my dad became a Husker fan. So I wore the Go Big Red shirt to school. And my preschool school photo is in an Amon Green Nebraska jersey. But other than that, I wasn't really paying attention to the Huskers. I just knew that I was supposed to like that team, but I didn't watch. And so once I really started paying attention and caring, it was the Bo Pelini years, whole lot of misery. and you get to hear about the greatness, but you don't get to have it for yourself. And so I think that went into a lot of what made me the way I am about Nebraska.
What was to your thinking? What's the best era since Pelini? Like, what was there a year that was better than another? Like where you felt like we're close
since Pelini got fired, or since he got hired?
Since he got fired.
Since he got fired,
yeah.
I have not felt good about Nebraska since Bo Pelini got fired. Wow. Because Mike Riley was an uninspiring hire, as I think most would agree.
Did you catch the athletic story on the hiring
for Callahan?
Yeah.
I don't have an athletics subscription, but I've gotten the gist of it from all the comments I've read underneath it.
Yeah, they talk about the process of them trying to find out who their coaches are going to be and how deep into the process they finally get to.
Well, you read a story like that, and you just get the feeling like no matter where they went, it was such a bad process that they couldn't have got it right at that point.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. It was a bad process.
Yeah.
They put their money on several bad horses, and it never paid out. Jeff says from the text line, 2007 USC at Nebraska was game day. They have had game day since, but that was memorable.
I think it was the colors of USC were really vivid.
Am I wrong? Is the streak of game days here one of loss? Like, what was the last game day when game day was here and the game was played? When was the last time they won a game day game?
Has Nebraska ever won a game day game?
Text line, let me know if that's true.
Because
let me know what that is.
Game day is a mid-2000s creation, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, to think, because I remember Ohio State. I remember, that didn't go well. But is there a game day experience where Nebraska has won the game day, the actual game that day?
Does it have to be specifically in Lincoln, or could it be any of the game days that they've played? I don't think they've gotten it very much either. Because if you look at it, since game day was created, Nebraska has not been a hyper-relevant team for a lot of those years.
Jim says Nebraska at Oklahoma 2001. Right? We're going to pull that out. Wow. That's pretty good. That's actually a pretty good grab. Wow, that it was so. Yeah. Also from the text line, beat Notre Dame once on game day. 01 was 01 Notre Dame or 01 Oklahoma? Yeah. So it may have been either, right? Game day was created in the 90s. So a 2000 game day at Notre Dame.
That one's in the Husker Century movie. I've seen that movie.
Okay.
They interview Scott Frost in it.
Okay, maybe, and I think I may have learned something if this is true. They said the first game day on a college campus was in Lincoln.
Really?
That's what the text line just said. And if that's the case, yeah. What Blanket says, my take on Husker football is very similar, Big Sky. I feel better about NU today than I have at any time since Osborne retired as AD. So, yeah, I think Mississippi Mud Dog says both Notre Dame and Oklahoma in 2001 were home games, and they came for both, and they won both. So 2001, yeah, and we have several people who said the very first game day was in Lincoln, a fact that I did not know.
Well, if it was created in the mid-90s or in the 90s, then that would make sense because that was when Nebraska was at their peak.
Yeah, so it was created in the 90s, and the very first one here was here, and Nebraska won. So, wow. Okay, we'll throw it to break. Well,
hold on, we got Jason on the line.
Oh, Jason Jason always has information. Jason, what's happening, man?
Hey guys, good show. Yeah, you kind of said what I was going to say, but the game day, first sign ever on game day was at Nebraska. The first game day was at Nebraska on the road, and we've hosted game day a lot of times when we were in the big dog club of college football. So I know Big Sky's a pretty young guy, so he probably just isn't aware of that. But we were one of the flagship schools, and the thing I have a problem with now, they don't showcase us. They'll mention us on game day if we got a high-profile game, but they don't really show us in the intro anymore. which rubs fans like myself wrong because, through all of our struggles, we're still a flagship top 8 blue blood of college football. And to not get any mention on game day in that little intro song that they play,
right,
kind of irritates me. I mean, no matter how you slice it, we have struggled, but anybody that knows college sports knows Nebraska is a flagship top 8 guaranteed blue blood. Now, there's other teams that are in that mix, but I don't think they're top 8. Texas, Penn State, Florida, and a couple other schools. But I am not a Herb Street fan. Until Ohio State got good recently, and they have been pretty good for 15 years now. They hadn't won a title since '68, and they'd underachieved in the '70s, the '80s, the '90s. The early 2000s, they finally got a national title, and they've done pretty well since then. But and Michigan, who I like their fans this past weekend, guys. You probably saw or talked to a few of them, but their fans, I really like Michigan. But Michigan's like Texas; they're just one of these giant college football programs that just underachieves. I mean, Michigan, besides that title they shared with us in '97, they hadn't won a title since 1948. No national championships in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 2000s, 2010s. That one, and Nebraska would have beat them in '97. There's no doubt about that. But anyway, good show. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you. All things in place. From the resource, the very first college game day on campus was November 13, 1993. It was the infamous game between Florida State and Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana, that Notre Dame won 31-24. The second one was the following year, September 10, and back at South Bend, Michigan beat Notre Dame, number 3 Notre Dame. And then the third one, and the first appearance here in Lincoln, September 17, 1994, number 13 UCLA at number 2 Nebraska, and Nebraska won it 49-21. So there you have it. We'll throw it a break, come back, a little NFL recap to set up the weekend. I'll get a prediction from Big Sky on Nebraska and Minnesota tomorrow. We'll do all of that when we return to Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SEC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
Dancing at weddings, walking the dog, playing with grandchildren. These are the small moments that make life great. They're also the moments that chronic pain steals from us. Don't let chronic pain stop you or a loved one from living life. At MD Pain, we wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. We offer the most up-to-date treatments from Nebraska's leading physicians. Don't let pain stand in your way. Call MD Pain.
Every time the back door closes, it squeaks and reminds me of how I used to go out back for a cigarette 2-3 times a day when I was stressed, when I was hungry, when I was bored. But then I think of how the stale taste lingered in my mouth, and I reach into my purse and pop a stick of gum. And the craving is gone.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Tired of interrupted printing or money-wasting long-term copier contract? Join Cartridge World's no-cost printer program. You get a free brand printer, free service maintenance and repair, free delivery. All this for just buying our high-quality, affordable printer cartridges. Simple agreements and local friendly service, as it has been for more than 25 years. Cartridge World. Contact us today.
Take your tan to the max at Max Tan and tan for a can every day through the month of October. Bring in a can of food for the food bank and get a free tan from Max Tan. See maxtan.net for details. Tan for a can every day in October. Only at Max Tan.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment before we head out to Norris for some high school football on Old School. We've kind of, from the text, we appreciate you guys chiming in. But yeah, Nebraska was not the first location. It was the third location, first place where a fan made a sign and did that thing. So greatly appreciate it. And when Blanket, you're right, Bob Carpenter, the voice of the Washington Nationals, was the very first host of game day. Carp is one of the greats. He's one of the all-time greats. All right, Big Sky, give me your prediction for tomorrow, kind sir. What is in your mind? What do you think happens?
I'm not going to do a Rico prediction. It's not going to be 200 yards from Amir Johnson without a touchdown. I think Adrian's going to have another game that makes you say, I feel like if this Nebraska team was winning, he would be getting a little bit of Heisman love. So I think we'll see a 5-touchdown performance from Adrian Martinez. I think we'll get 1 touchdown from a running back, so that'll be 42 points for the Huskers, and I'll throw in a field goal because Culp's looking good these days. So 45 points, and then I'm gonna, as I said, I feel like it could be a close game and not really a blowout. So I'll go ahead and give Minnesota 38. That's no disrespect to the defense. That's just me feeling like this is gonna be a close game.
Wow.
I don't know how they're gonna get those touchdowns. It could be kick returns. Could be defensive scores, but and we've seen Nebraska has a penchant for fumbling and throwing interceptions when they shouldn't.
That's crazy.
If I want Adrian to have
a lot of points.
It is a lot of points.
Okay, big guy. I'm gonna give you credit for it. Take me through the Monday night game. Tell me what you think. Buffalo travels to Tennessee to face the Titans.
The Titans are going to try and do what they do best, which is run the ball. I have Derrick Henry on my fantasy team, so it bodes well for me. But I just, it's a good matchup trying to keep the Buffalo offense off the field as much as possible. But I just don't think they're going to be able to pull it out. It'll be a closer game than people think, especially after the Tennessee Titans just lost to the Jets. But in the end, Buffalo will prevail. I think it's going to be around 31-21. Buffalo scoring a late touchdown to make it look like a better win than it is.
I don't disagree with that. I really don't. So, Big Sky, thank you for the hour with me, man. It's always appreciated. I have mad respect for what you do and how you do it. Also, who wins game 1? Real quick. Astros, Red Sox. Who you got?
I know you're a Stros guy, but I'm going to give love to my roommate who's a Red Sox fan, and I'm going to say Red Sox get game 1.
Wrong! Thank you, brother.
Thank you.